What's up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? We got a new subscriber last night. Thank you. I appreciate your support and welcome to the team. Whether you watch one video or all of them, I just appreciate you. We got trauma dumping playlist, has my whole life story on it. Got movie reviews, got political rants, got commentary, got Lego building, anything you could possibly think of. Discord, Twitch. But even if you're just here for one video, I appreciate your support and being here. Thank you. Today, I finally got to sit down and binge watch Twisted Metal Season 2. I said in my finale that I'm going to review the season as a whole. Hopefully we're not here for an hour and a half, but there's a lot to talk about. So I definitely recommend that if you're on the fence about this season that you go binge watch it, because my opinion has gone up on it quite a bit, actually. And the first season, it kind of did the opposite. I binge watched the first season getting ready for the second season, and I actually liked the first season a little bit less. Still good. I'm not shit talking it, but, you know, I've been really hard on this season. I was hard on the first 4 episodes. And then I was hard on episode 8 and 9 because I didn't know we were getting 12 episodes. And a lot of things I missed. A lot of things I didn't give enough credit. And so I binge watched it to really try to pick up on every Easter egg and see how I feel about it. And first, right off the bat, is my opinion of this season is definitely higher than it was. So I'm going to try not to talk your ear off for 2 hours. This is my second take, and I went to an hour and a half. So let's see how this goes. Characters. I thought the characters. Let's start with Calypso. Amazing. The actor, I don't remember his name. He plays Metamorpho in Superman. Nailed Calypso. His laugh, like just everything about him. Great Calypso. We got it. He did him justice here, and he's intimidating as hell, and I think he pulls it off well. Axel, it was a character that ballsy to bring to real life. How do you do it? They pulled it off. I think the actor did a really, really good job playing him. They made it make sense, and as hard as it is to do to bring something like that to the big screen, I think they nailed it. Sweet Tooth, yes, Sweet Tooth is my favorite character. I know that's the popular opinion, and but he is, man. I love the way they brought Sweet Tooth to life. Will Arnett seems to be really passionate about this. He was a producer, and just watching interviews with him, the idea to use his voice and Samoa Joe, perfect. And Samoa Joe, dude, so much acting just through his eyes and his facial expressions. The way they brought Sweet Tooth to life, I love. And, the perfect mix of campy humor and psychotic, and I love it. I love the way they did him. How does it make any sense that his head is on fire? I don't know, but whatever. Raven did a good job. Raven is my personal favorite in Twisted Metal Black. I love using her vehicle. I like her special. You got 2 different ones. It's kind of hard to pull off, but when you do, you nail it. It's got a decent amount of armor. It's got a decent speed. I love using Raven in the games, and I think Raven, the actress, played her pretty well, and she was actually the damn good threat and pretty heartless. And then John and Quiet, of course, already given my opinion on them. And Mr. Grimm, I love how the actor portrayed him. I think he did a damn good job at going from one personality to the next. He nailed it. But such a beloved character who is the pinnacle of I'm badass at this game. If you can win the game with Mr. Grimm, you are a badass. I tip my hat to you. I can't land as special for shit, and but that's one thing that sucks. I think is we didn't get to see a special from Mr. Grimm. I don't even think he killed anybody other than when he's digging up his bike. I don't think he kills anybody the entire tournament. So while I think they nailed him as a character, I wish we would have seen more unique combat from him and what he brings to the table. And at least seen his special once, right? And what other character? Like Vermin, she did well. The actress that plays her is unrecognizable. The way she looks without her makeup, like crazy. And yeah, the cast of characters we got, I think they all did a great job. And Mike, Stu, and Dave, Hammerhead. We'll get to that later. I do like that we get Hammerhead by the end, and yeah, the characters. I think they all did great. Now, hold on, let me check my nifty notes here. All right, so a lot that changed on my second rewatch was the pacing. Sorry. I really thought like the first 4 episodes were slow, and then the tournament, but like waiting weeks to watch a show, right? That's just naturally how it feels. So like when you actually binge watch it, really the pacing is fine. There is action in each episode, and I do think the pacing is pretty good. I actually am going to give episodes 1 through 4 more credit than I did the first time. And then knowing now that we were getting 12 episodes instead of 10, 8 and 9, just episodes 5 through 12 are like pretty, like the tournament's pretty dope. And there was a lot of action, and for what they were tasked to do, I think they did a decent job. I do think that they screwed over Junkyard Dog. I wish we got to see his special at least once. They screwed over Death Warrant a little bit. And Spectre. I forgot about Spectre. It is Spectre, right? Like, from the games, he's a cocky, arrogant asshole, right? Surely that's Spectre, but then the car's name is Quattro? There's no way that that's Quattro from Twisted Metal 4. The actor was okay. I guess he played a douche okay. I mean, I don't know. He wasn't the best actor. Clearly, they didn't have, like, Spectre was not a huge character that they wanted in Bob, which is fine. And Mayhem. Shit. I thought she was okay. I understand she's a kid and she's supposed to make all these naive decisions and whatnot, but like, after she gets saved in the lightning round, the fact that she just had her life saved and she overhears John and Quiet talking about, she's a liability, we just need to leave her behind, she can't ride with us. And then she goes and cries about that, sees Minion, doesn't tell them about it, flips them off at the tournament. It's like, dude, can you just have a little bit of self-awareness? Just a little, Like, the reason why you're able to flip them off and cry right now is because they saved you twice. So, like, her character kind of got on my nerves. But at the same time, I do sympathize with the character and what she went through and the emotional beats that they try to give us. And I do like the ending of, she found where she wanted to belong. She annoyed me at times. But I think she was supposed to. So, if that was the intent, then success, I guess. Yeah. So, characters. We covered characters. Great. Plot. What I love about what this show is able to do is that Twisted Metal is not a game that you look at and has a lot of plot that you can turn into a story. it's you enter the game, you win the tournament, you make a wish, it goes sideways. There is no continuity in the games. There is no, there's things that stay consistent, like Twisted Metal 4, Twisted Metal Black, Small Brawl, and Head On. Sweet Tooth gets one over on Calypso. So there's things that you could say are kind of a constant, but there is no continuity at all. So as writers and turning this into a show, that's a daunting task to take this and try to make it into a show. Especially now that the tournament's over, going into season 3, we're exploring new territory here. There's so many different directions they could decide to take it. We are getting Charlie Kane. Maybe they go Darktooth. Maybe they don't. I think we're getting Darktooth. Or, yeah, I think we're getting Darktooth or Tower Tooth. That would, God, could you imagine Tower Tooth? That would be so cool. But that was Marcus Kane and Sweet Tooth personalities colliding, which I don't know how they... I'm not getting into that. But... yeah, my point is there is no story, really. Now, with the backstory of Calypso and the things that we know about Needles Kane and Marcus Kane and Darktooth and Tower Tooth, there is a lot of pieces there that you could make into one. But it would be a daunting task, and I think they're doing a good job. And the fact that they made this world, put this tournament in it, and now the tournament's over, and so the third season is going to be exploring new territory. I'm very interested in seeing what they come up with. The tournament itself, I thought, was dope. I think the finale blew us all away. I'm saying nothing but positive things online. That was one hell of a finale. Episode 11 was fucking awesome. I'll get to nitpicks here in a minute about the other episodes, but episode 11, man, that is like, if you're a Twisted Metal fan, come on. Or the last 20 minutes of episode 5, when the competition starts, the eclipse happens, and, Dragula is playing, not the shitty, repetitive version in TM4, the actual version. Fuck yeah. If you're a Twisted Metal fan, that's heaven right there. And the finale, seeing Sweet Tooth and Mr. Grimm fight, what more could you ask for? And so the way they brought it to life, I applaud them, because they really fucking did. You could tell a lot of passion went into this. The angles at which they film when they're driving, and all the missiles, and the missiles even having their own color. You got the purple with the homing missiles. You got the red, the power missiles. You got orange, the fire missiles. Like, they really did pay attention to a lot of the things in the games, and I applaud them for that. One thing that I completely missed the first time I watched it is in episode 9, whenever they're cutting their hand and Calypso is talking about the Roanoke tribe, he says, we, then they, insinuating that he was actually alive and around back in Roanoke times. So they're definitely hinting at he's a demon that's been around for centuries. And so that's why I'm so excited about where we're heading, because who knows? Maybe we go to hell. How do you beat Calypso? So it's going to be really cool. I'm interested on where they take it. Are they going to team up with Darktooth and somehow we go to Calypso and wind up in hell, or beat Calypso? Now we got to go against Darktooth. Probably not. Sweet Tooth is just in it because he wants everybody to know his name. So everybody would know his name if he killed Calypso. So they're probably going to team up. Anyway. Yeah. A lot of Easter eggs. So the overall plot, I definitely am starting to get. So Calypso, right? We got that episode, and got that part at the beginning of episode 6 where Calypso meets up with John, and he says that he just wants to be seen, and he's doing all this weird shit. Starts to fire somehow makes Calypso is real on the sign, brings the drinks, and then in the finale, he's pitching his idea of the Twisted Metal show, and then says they're just not ready for it yet. We're just gonna have to wait, kind of insinuating that he started the apocalypse. And if his wish is that he wants to be seen, I think he started the apocalypse to then make the Twisted Metal tournament to unite the insiders and outsiders, and wants to be the guy that unites the world and is basically the world leader. And what more attention could you get than that? And so a lot of like Easter eggs I missed the first go round about Calypso. Oh shit, I forgot to talk about Minion in the character part. I guess I'll just talk about that now. I'm sticking to my guns on that one. I don't like how they did Minion. I'm happy that we got Minion. I am. I'm absolutely thrilled at it. Wasn't thrilled at the design, but just happy that we got Minion. But it being John's sister revived in a robotic suit kind of sucks. Like, I really wish they didn't do a face reveal, because Minion is a demon, and if you know the Twisted Metal lore, you know how important Minion actually is to the story. So them just kind of reducing Minion to that sucks. So, and I guess that leads me into my nitpicks about the season. So while I don't think episodes 1 through 5 are as bad as I originally was making it out to be, if you binge watch it, the pacing is actually good and it does make sense. I still don't like Diesel City. That episode is just full of writing bullshit, man. They go to this place to get weapons, leave empty-handed with an EMP that doesn't even work. They get a couple boomerang missiles, which, yes, do end up coming to play later, but I just don't really care for the episode. The only part I like about it is, Dollface and Sweet Tooth fighting to What Is Love. Fuck! Another character. That's supposed to go in the character section. Don't click off. Dollface. Don't like how they did her. I hate that she was just reduced to John's sister, and because of that, I called it, like in the comment section, literally called that she was going to die. Because of that reason alone. The fact that Dollface is such a important character in the games and has such an important story, and the fact that she was just reduced to... Now, don't get me wrong, yes, she's leading a gang that's disrupting... insider distributions of stuff and trying to make things even, trying to get outsiders a chance. I love that. That's great. I don't really care for how they did Dollface. I wish they would have just called her something else. But it's whatever. I did miss it, the scene where they get John. She's driving the semi. Dollface only drives the semi in Twisted Metal Black, I believe. I don't think she drives it in 2012, does she? But anyway, thought that was cool. But at the same time though, you're only given 6 hours to create this competition and introduce all these characters. There's only so much you can do. So the fan favorites are Sweet Tooth, Mr. Grimm, Axel, John Doe, Raven, and Dollface, I would say, are the top, right? And anyway, going back to my nitpicks. Sweet Tooth and Mr. Grimm aren't in 2 of the 5 rounds. That bothers me. Yes. But, this is not a tightly written show. And I am a critic at the end of the day. Bad writing does bother me. Look, I think we were all expecting the first season, especially based off the trailers, to be a pile of shit. And the fact that we didn't get a pile of shit, that it was like, oh, this is actually, you make it past the cringy humor of the first episode, not bad. like, this isn't like an Emmy nominated show by any means. It's not on the level of like The Last of Us, but like it was still good. It was surprisingly good for what it is and for the task that they had to do. It was pretty good. And my point is, even though it is surprisingly good for what it is, it's still not like, you know, the best written thing in the world. And Sweet Tooth and Mr. Grimm not being in 2 of the rounds. I mean, in the Apocalypse 9 episode, Mr. Grimm isn't even in it. He's not in a single scene. He's not in the episode. What? And then, fine, you know, this is Axel's backstory, we're getting it, but they butchered Apocalypse 9. They really did. And, of course, I love the table saw scene and that stuff, you know, that, but, they really kind of butchered that, and, I'm fine with the fact that Sweet Tooth wasn't in the episode, that he was talking to a doctor, I get it, but it was the way that literally Apocalypse 9 all got killed, and then Sweet Tooth just comes into the room, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, good thing the big murderous clown just happened to just now get here. Like, I didn't like that. And then where is Mr. Grimm? And then in the lightning round, again, Sweet Tooth and Mr. Grimm aren't in it. So, like, I don't think they knew how to write them into each competition. And they just know that these are important characters that they want in the finale, and so that's how they did it. And in the lightning episode, Calypso even says there's only 6 contestants remaining who will survive. No, there's not. There's 9. If you count Mike and Stu as separate people, 10. Like, 3 of them are with you right now on trial, and I guess they just get a free pass to the next, you know. So, like, writing, that adds up, is what I'm saying. Little writing things like that do add up to me. And I didn't like that. You know, it was awesome. It was so awesome seeing Mr. Grimm and Sweet Tooth go at it and them be in the competition, was it not? It would have been nice to get that in more than one episode. And then episode 10, you know, I think everybody was able to predict how that was going to go. You know, with Axel giving his backstory and then finding out that Mayhem is the baby, possibly, that, you know, he took care of. The fact that Quiet had Mayhem and Axel had Quiet, I think everybody kind of knew how that episode was going to end. And I don't think Axel's dead. And if you saw his arms turned into lava, like, I'm wondering if he was able to detach. He's definitely still alive. I don't know how, but he definitely is. I don't know if that's gonna permanently put him in there. That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen, is that he's permanently there. That, or it melted off his hands. Who knows? But I don't think Axel is dead. And, yeah. Diesel City. Did not care for that episode. Did not care for episode 8 with Apocalypse 9. But I did actually like episode 9 more than I gave it credit for. Because, see, like, binge watching it, you know, it's so much different than waiting a week for these episodes, because when you're binge watching it and you're at episode 9, well, now you've grown to really care about it, and most people probably did. Me, I just, like, have the attention span of a squirrel, so when you're binge watching it, like, you know, you really get to start to care about these characters. And in episode 8, even though I think they butchered Apocalypse 9, all these characters are bonding to take them down. In episode 9, they're bonding. And then so in episode 10, now they got to kill each other. That is an emotional gut punch. And that emotional gut punch wasn't delivered to me on first watch, but it was this time. And So I actually like episode 9 a lot more than I did upon initial viewing. Other than that, my major nitpick was with how they did Minion, and honestly, I think episode 11 should have been the finale. I like episode 12, but there's a lot of things about it I don't like. If you would have left it at episode 11, John being knocked out, the stands just blew up, have Stu make his wish, and then he winds up in space, that would have been one hell of a cliffhanger. That being said, I am happy that episode 12 exists because of the end credits and what it's hinting at. I do like that we open up with Stu getting his wish in the finale and then sent to space. What I don't like is that I'm supposed to believe that John, Quiet, and Mayhem are living happily for months in this cabin in a world where all these people are desperately trying to survive by, busting in a house. Like, it's quite literally every man for himself type world. There's no way that they would be able to shoot fish and then nobody try to break into their house, But it is fun to see our characters, have a moment of peace. Then Minion comes in, and then we get Stu, and then we get the TV, saying that now the insiders are coming out to wipe out the outsiders, basically. And now John and Quiet have a huge target on their back. And then Stu goes to space and comes back in the same episode. And what I don't understand is he finally reunites with Mike. He gets killed by Quiet. He says, "I will avenge you." And then he goes to save John, Quiet, and Mayhem. And I know that they've always been friendly with one another, but not super friendly, Like, if you're Stu and they just killed your best friend, why would you be saving them? He didn't even bring it up. Now, maybe that's because he realizes that Calypso is the larger threat that pit them against each other, but I don't know. I just wasn't huge on episode 12. I do enjoy, seeing our characters happy and triumphant and being at peace, but they definitely wouldn't have been able to go months without having their house broken into or something. I, again, don't really like the way they did Minion, even though we see Minion, yes, that's exciting, but I just really wish they didn't do a face reveal. I just do. It, to me, yes, that does bring the character down a notch, and so gosh, I just wish they wouldn't have taken the mask off. Some people might disagree with that, and that's okay. But yeah, it was exciting to get Minion in the episode, but then that kind of was like, damn it, I don't like that. And really, I'm happy episode 12 exists because of the last 5 minutes and what it's setting up. But as an episode, following up episode 11, wasn't huge on it. Episode 12, really the only thing it added to the show was the last 5 minutes of it. Calypso framing them for bombing the stands, and the end credit scene, hinting at Charlie Kane and Axel being alive, and showing that the hamster that was part machine is now free, which I don't know if that's supposed to matter. Couldn't you just punt that thing into outer space? So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about episode 12. Episode 4, episode 8, and episode 12, I do think could have... it's not even that I think episode 12 could have been written better. It's just that I think that... I don't know. Episode 11, I feel like... But if you end it there, then you don't have the hint at Charlie Kane because Sweet Tooth is on the ground. So I don't know. I wasn't huge on episode 12, even on rewatch. Um, but that being said, the setup for season 3, I am very excited to see what we're getting into, and if we're gonna get Darktooth, how the hell we're gonna kill Calypso. Now it's outside. Now insiders are just going and killing outsiders, which a lot of outsiders are gonna blame John and Quiet for, so they got a target on their back. Um, I I'm digging where we're headed, and I'm excited for season 3 and to see what they cook up. But the writing is going to need to be, I'm not going to say better, because I think the writing was fine this season overall, but this is really in their hands now. You know, like in the games, you don't get a after tournament story. This is my wish. It gets twisted sideways. So this is exploring new territory, and I'm really interested in seeing what they come up with. But overall, I will say, after binge watching it for a second time, I did enjoy the season quite a lot more than the first go round. And yeah, they really were able to bring this game to life, and I think that's awesome. And God, you know, they just released 1 through 4 on PlayStation Network to buy, so you can buy those games. You can buy Twisted Metal Black. I hope that those do good in sales. I hope this does good and it leads to another game. That would be so awesome. I'm telling you, if 2012 Twisted Metal, if they would have waited until PlayStation 4 came out, because it came out right before the PlayStation 4, and really focused on the multiplayer. I know that they were kind of forced to put campaign in there, and I still would like campaign in there. But if they would have waited for, PlayStation 4, dude, I think Twisted Metal would be like an esport. Like, it's got a big fan base, a passionate one too. And, yeah, I think this season was definitely better than the first. I actually, for a second there, thought that whenever I thought episode 10 was going to be the last episode, I was about ready to say that I liked season 1 more. But on rewatch, I think season 2 is better. I'm going to give it a 3.25 out of 5, which is going to sound low. But look, like I said, I'm a very critical person. For what this is, and what they're trying to accomplish, the task that they had, a 3.25 is a really good score to me. Like, it sounds low, sounds middle of the road. I would say this is above average. This is a hard thing to bring to life, and they did. Not all the writing is great. Sure, not all the characters were done justice, but overall, the action, the character development, seeing these characters come to life, the car combat, the gore, the R rating, the darkness, the silliness, some of the jokes. Overall positive. I'm giving it a 3.25 rather than like a 4 or a 4.5, because it's just not on that level to me of like The Last of Us or Peacemaker, or like, yes, it's good, but the writing is what it is. It's not Emmy nominated. This isn't like a show people are going to look at and like, this is going to win Oscars, you know? So 3.25 out of 5 for me, but I do recommend it to people, and I thank you for watching these reviews. This has been really fun, and can't wait to do it again for season 3. I know it'll get picked up again, and it's been fun, and I'm gonna review Twisted Metal Black whenever. I've beaten it 3 times. First with Sweet Tooth, then with Shadow, then with Roadkill, but I was too much of a coward to go to Suburbs, Drive-In Theater, and Downtown. I picked the same levels because I couldn't beat the other 3. So I need to beat the game and beat those levels, and then I'll review the game. And then, hopefully I find something else you guys are interested in. But from the bottom of my heart, this has been a lot of fun to review and talk about, and I'm happy the IP is getting attention and to bond and talk about something that, you know, we grew up playing and whatnot. It's been fun, and I appreciate you guys being along for the ride and watching these videos. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you binge watched it yet and watched it a second time? Did that change your mind a little bit? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What's your stance on it? What's your favorite game? And I love you guys, and I appreciate you for watching. Thank you.